So I designed a mobile and everything is working fine, and I doesn't know how to implement a camera functionality. Okay, so and I just kept it like that without implementing the camera functionality. I just kept it like that, and I manufactured the phone and I tried to sell it. So who will buy my cell phone without camera functionality? Hello? Yeah, somebody can answer. So I manufactured a mobile without the camera functionality, and I started selling it. Shall somebody will buy it? Will somebody will buy it my phone?
No, it won't.
No.
No, right? So that the reason is this is the fundamental feature of a camera, and you are not implementing it, and you are trying to sell it. So people will not wanna buy it, right? So we can say it's a it's still in abstract. It's still in abstract. It is not completed, right? The camera, the mobile phone is not completed. It's still in abstract. Okay. So let's make it complete. Then manufacture it. Why do you want to manufacture before no it is completed, right? So that's one thing. Let's say there is a car manufacturing company and they implemented some new feature. They designed some new feature. Okay, and but they just kept a dabba, they just kept a box, and they have not implemented anything in that box. Okay, and they started manufacturing it. Okay, without they wanted to introduce a new feature, and they doesn't know how to implement that new feature. They have an idea but they doesn't know how to implement it. Okay, and without implementing it, they just kept a skeleton on the car and they started manufacturing it. And again it will look awkward, right? Something, they introduce something but which cannot be worked. Okay, they introduce something in the car, and when you try to play it, or when you try to work on it, it will not respond anything. Okay, so that also looks awkward, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when something is abstract, when something is not completed, when something is an abstract, okay, let's keep it like that. Do not manufacture it. Okay, so those who knows how to implement that, let's leave it to them. Okay, this is the fundamentals of abstraction. Okay, so let's note down some points. I recommend everyone to note down some points. Okay, which are very important. So I recommend everyone to have pen and book with you to note down all these points. Yes, you can find it out these points in my notebook, and when you repeat this video you can able to get it. But still I recommend you to note down so that you will be having an idea that you learned this topic, and these are the very important points in this topic. Okay, that's the reason I recommend everyone to note down. Let's note down some points. An abstract class is one of an abstract class is one that cannot be instantiated. An abstract class is the one which cannot be instantiated. Abstract class usually abstract class usually comes in the design phase. Abstract class usually comes in the design phase. Okay, so abstraction is required when you know doesn't implement something. Okay, abstraction is required when you doesn't implement something. Okay, or some future, anything is okay. Okay, so these are the 3 points I want you to note down. And let's come to the Java and how we'll use abstract. Okay, so first point, if a class is if a method is having return without any body or without implementation, and that That method is called abstract method. Okay, let's say I written a method, right? Okay, and I have not provided the implementation. So usually how the method will be there? So it will be like this, right? Am I right? It will be like this. Usually a method will be like this with some body, with some code, right? It will be like this. Okay, it's something like this. Am I right? Okay, so what I'm telling is, if a method is written without any body, without starting and closing parentheses, okay, starting and closing brackets, or starting and closing parentheses, whatever it is, okay, if a method is written without any body, that method we can call it as a abstract method. Okay, so, and this is a method public void display, doesn't have any body, doesn't have any code inside it. Okay, and we also mentioned a semicolon, which is very important. If you are not providing any body to a method, you have to make sure you are giving a semicolon. Okay, that's very important. Please do not do any mistake on this. Please note down. Okay, and so where you can see the methods, so will you, where you can see the methods, okay, where you will be writing the methods in a class, right? Usually the methods and variables are exist in a class, not outside the class or somewhere else, right? So if a class is having, one more point which is very important again, if a class is having at least one abstract method, okay, and yeah, one more thing, if you make a method as an abstract method, you have to make sure you are giving a abstract keyword. Okay, this is only thing. Okay, if you write a method without any body, and you have to make sure that you are giving a abstract method so that others can understand that it's an abstract method. Okay, so that's about the previous point and its syntax. Now coming to next point, if a class is having at least one abstract method, that class has to be declared abstract class. Okay, let's say there is a class public void car, sorry, public class car. Okay, and it is having some variables, int engine number, string, color. Okay, and like that, public void apply break. Okay, stop down, outer println break applied, something like this. Void increase. మామ కొంచెం రూమ్ లోకి పోండి ఒక 10 నిమిషాలు. మౌనిక, hey, I'm sorry, just power went off and came back, just to get the backup. I took a little while. Okay, let's go ahead. Hope everyone is there in the class. Hope everyone is there. Okay, thanks everyone. Yeah, okay. So, and this is a method increase acceleration, and I'm closing the class. But unfortunately, I doesn't know how to implement this method. Okay, I doesn't know how to code it this method, how to write the functionality in this method, how to code this method, or how to implement this method. So as I doesn't know anything, how can I implement this method? I'll be making it as abstract method by putting a semicolon. When you don't provide, when you are not providing any implementation to the method, when you are not providing any body to the method, you have to give a abstract. You have to give a abstract keyword. Is nothing but it's an abstract method which doesn't have any body or implementation. Now let's read the statement once again. If a class is having at least one abstract method, that class has to be declared abstract class, right? So can anybody tell me? So for a abstract method, I declare the abstract here. For a for a class car, where can I declare the abstract? Can anybody tell me? Yes, please go ahead. If a class is having at least one abstract method, that class has to be declared a abstract class. Okay, so where I can use this abstract keyword in my class declaration?
It's public abstract class.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Saruna. Okay, yes, thank you. Yeah, that's it. So you have to make sure like this. And and how do you create an object for the car? I have to create a main method. Okay, inside the main method I have to make a object creation syntax, that is car c equal to new car. Okay, and so I cannot call increase acceleration because that's a abstract method that doesn't have anything. Okay, and I'll call apply break. Okay, fine. So in the very first statement I mentioned that what I mentioned, the first very statement. Can somebody repeat me the statement? The very first statement I said something. Can Swati, can you repeat?
Abstract class cannot be initiated.
Okay. So what I have done here?
It's initiation.
Yes. Will it be allowed in abstract class?
No.
Okay. So I cannot create an object for the abstract class. Please remember the first question they will ask you in the interview. If they started asking you on abstract related things, the first question they will ask you is that can I create an object for the abstract class? You cannot create the instance or object for the class abstract class. Okay, the reason is that the method which is not implemented. Okay, so what is the reason? Okay, what is the reason? And manufacturing a car without knowing how to increase the acceleration, this is the first point we know, right? This is the first thing everybody uses in the car. Okay, they want to increase the speed, they will press the acceleration button or something, right? So without having implementation to increasing the acceleration, so what is the point in manufacturing a car? Okay, or what is the point in manufacturing a car object? Okay, so that's a reason. When something is abstract, when something is not implemented in the abstract class, you cannot create an object for it. Okay, so these two statements are invalid. I'm just removing it. Okay, so we cannot create an object for the abstract class. Please note down, we cannot create an object for the abstract class. The reason is that Abstract class is the one which doesn't have implementation to certain methods, and that's the reason it's not in Java. It's not allowed to create an object for the abstract class. Okay, so that's one thing you need to remember. Yeah, sure, no problem. No problem, Sunny. Now, this is the abstract abstract concept. Okay, so you require to the assignment is for you is that create a class called car and make a method like this and make another method without providing any implementation. And in the main method, as I said, try to create a car object and see what is happening and give me that error, that compilation error. I need that compilation error. Okay, so that I can understand you guys are done this program. So that's fine. Now I'm going to another topic. So I'm going to teach you another topic, that is inheritance.